Hello again, welcome back to the Early Rundown. Now, the new lockdown restrictions in England have seen schools shut and children returning to learning from home. But it's meant many parents also working from home are having to juggle both childcare responsibilities alongside their regular jobs. It's not easy. We can speak now to Sarah Hesz. She's the Chief Commercial Officer of the childcare company Bubble. Great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being with us. I mean, it is a huge problem, isn't it? Speaking as a parent myself, trying to carry on working whilst now having to look after the children and make sure that they're doing their schoolwork.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning. I mean, I certainly woke up this morning with a feeling of slight dread about how I was going to manage the day. I've got 3 kids and it's a real struggle for parents right now. They're being pushed to their limits.
I mean, the first lockdown, we all had a bit of energy, didn't we? It was all new to us, and I guess it was new to the children as well, and we sort of threw ourselves at it. But now fatigue is really setting in, I think.
I think absolutely right. The sun was shining back then. We had a sense of more optimism, I believe. And right now, the days are short, it's dark, kids have got a lot on. And that's the other thing. Now, kids have missed out a lot of school. And, you know, that causes a huge amount of worry for parents. And they feel increased pressure to try and get all the homeschooling done. They really are trying, but it just simply means they can't do everything.
So you have this situation where you're trying to do your work, you're trying to speak to the office, you're trying to send emails, whatever it is, whilst also trying to make sure that the kids are occupied and doing their thing online or whatever it might be. So one solution is to get childcare to monitor that, and that's where you come in.
Absolutely. So Bubble is an app where you can find local flexible nannies and babysitters. And we're seeing a huge increase in the numbers of bookings over the last few days since schools have been starting to shut. And that's because it's the only real way to manage a job and childcare and homeschooling. There's simply not enough hours in the day, and all of these things require focus. I think what I'm really worried about is the mental health of parents right now, because when you're doing everything in a kind of half, trying your best, but not ever being able to manage doing anything properly, the sense of guilt and stress is something we're hearing so much from our parent community.
Yeah, I mean, there is that huge sense of guilt, isn't there, that you're not really doing anything right. You're not giving your attention to the children, you're not giving your attention to work, and you're sort of stuck in the middle. But, of course, childcare is expensive. Getting a nanny to come in must cost a fortune.
Absolutely. And, we live in a country where childcare is one of the most expensive in the world. And I think this is really interesting because childcare is a topic that impacts women most. Mothers get hit hardest, and we know that, and we've seen that from the first lockdown. We're seeing and hearing a lot of our parent community where women are taking a step back, asking to be furloughed, reduced hours, and this will have a really negative impact on gender equality in the workplace, which is why I think it's really interesting to be talking to you today, because businesses can really help subsidise some of this cost. And I think it's something that businesses haven't always been that great at in the past. But I would really urge any business leaders right now, not only to have sympathy and empathy with their parent employees who are going through a lot right now, but to really think about what they can do and how they can act in order to support them.
Yeah, you make a really good point. And of course, you're going to get more out of your staff, aren't you, if you can help them with their domestic issues during these times. And finally, what about the problem of people coming into your home to look after your children or whatever? We don't want to be mixing with strangers necessarily.
Absolutely. And what the government has said is that nannies and childcare in home is allowed. So obviously, while schools are shut to reduce the risk of the spread, in-home childcare is allowed. And we provide very clear guidance for both our parents and our sitters and how they should behave and the guidelines that they should follow.
OK, Sarah Hesz from Bubble, thank you very much indeed. Best of luck with your homeschooling and best of luck to all of you at home as well. Just waking up this morning to another long day of homeschooling ahead. It's not easy.